So a man's reaction to being ignored will depend on three different factors. One, his self-esteem. His self-esteem is pretty much what will determine, for the most part, how he will react to you ignoring him. The second thing is how much he likes you. If a guy doesn't like you that much and you ignore him, you're doing him a goddamn favor. If he likes you and you ignore him, he might go apoplectic. And the third thing is sexual competition. If he sees other men wanting you, you ignoring him will make him want you, not because he likes you, but because he feels like he's losing. And he'll feel that his serotonin levels go down, which is the neurochemical that allows people to feel respect, that allows people to just inspire people to get respect, right? And so he'll chase you not because he loves you, he'll chase you because he wants to win. Essentially, it has nothing to do with you, and as soon as he gets you back, he'll go back to his normal behavior. Now, let's talk about the two different reasons why ignoring a man actually hurts. And after that, we're going to talk about what the different types of men and how they react to you ignoring them. Like men who have high self-esteem, men who have low self-esteem, or men who are narcissists, how do they react to you ignoring them? Because we're talking about the psychology of it. And ignoring in this case doesn't just mean you're not responding to them anymore. Ignoring could be a temporary thing. Ignoring could be maybe responding to something but not responding to something else, right? Many different aspects of ignoring, or even it could just be a temporary withdrawal of your energy, wherein you're there but you're not there. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying that much attention to them. Humans naturally, even as babies, fundamentally need to feel like they are wanted, or better yet, they need to feel like they're at least being looked at, acknowledged. Humans hate being ignored. Humans are in fact, their baby will literally die if he's being ignored by his parents. Literally, the eye contact literally keeps babies alive. And the reason why ignoring for the most part has an effect on the guy is because, one, he feels like he lacks control. Okay, when you ignore somebody, it's one thing for you to argue with somebody and feel like you're having a negative or toxic argument with somebody. It's another thing for you to be completely ignored by that person. It's better to have an argument with somebody than to be ignored. Naturally, it's just way better. Psychologically, studies have shown that your self-esteem gets lowered when you're ignored rather than when you're arguing with somebody, right? Because when you argue, at least they feel like they have some kind of control. At least they feel like they can maybe change the dynamic to their favors, right? There's a back and forth dynamic. There's some communication. There's some hope. Things still feel kind of alive, even though they're descending. But ignoring them will make them feel like they lack a sense of control. Ignoring somebody is pretty much the last step in somebody feeling like they have no hope. And once they feel like they have no control, naturally their thoughts, their anxieties that they're naturally suppressing, that they're naturally trying to keep underneath their consciousness arises, and a lot of people will panic. A lot of people will pretty much start chasing. A lot of guys will change their standards and pretty much would do anything you ask of them. A lot of guys will change the way they see you. In their minds, your value goes up when you put them in an anxious state for the most part. But there's some caveats to it, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the video. It's very important. And if you guys want to learn more about this, you guys can check out my online courses, The Psychological Game of Attraction. It's a course that I made for single women. And Natural Chemistry is a course that I made for women who are in relationships. Click on the description down below to purchase it, or I'm closing this channel. I'm closing it, goddammit. So yeah, lack of control, right? And that's what you want to do, right? And when you do that, you pretty much put the ball on your court. You pretty much give yourself power by just ignoring the guy. Don't argue with the guy. If a guy is doing something that you consistently tell him not to do, and he keeps doing it, like checking out other girls, next time he does it, just ignore him. Ignore him for a week or so. Make him feel like he has lost control over you, and you'll notice that he'll start chasing even harder. The next thing is ignoring and man gives them lower self-esteem, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because it happens to everybody. But this is the thing, is that when a guy's getting cocky with you, when a guy feels like he has you, when a guy feels like that he's doing you a favor being with him, and sometimes women make the mistake of making the guy feel that way by consistently never withdrawing their presence. It's important from time to time to withdraw. It's important, right? It keeps things level, right? What you do, but when you ignore people, naturally, just humans in general, when you ignore somebody, they naturally start second guessing themselves. You pretty much split them from the inside. They'll begin to wonder, why is this person ignoring me? They'll begin to wonder, what did they do to make this happen? They'll begin to reconsider everything they've said and done, and they'll say, what is the source of you ignoring? It's better yet to ignore somebody without telling them why they're ignoring you, why you're ignoring them. But make sure to ignore them when they do something wrong, so that eventually they can solve the puzzle, right? You can't ignore somebody without having a reason to it. You got to make sure that they can maybe associate a certain behavior with the ignoring, and the best way to create those associations is to do it at a similar time. Because when you ignore somebody, naturally what happens is that the brain releases a lot of what's the stress hormone? Oh my God, the stress hormone, not oxytocin, not dopamine. Oh my God, I'm sorry, people. Let me find this. The stress hormone, cortisol, right? The brain releases cortisol. What cortisol does is that it reminds you of everything that led up to the release of cortisol. In other words, if you're walking down the forest and the snake bites you, your body releases cortisol. And so as a result, the brain would then say, what led to you releasing cortisol? Maybe the sound of right? And all of a sudden, now that sound is associated with the release of cortisol, which produces fear, right? And so, and the reason why is because it's important to know what leads up to the release of cortisol in order to avoid it. The same thing happens with dopamine. Dopamine pretty much helps you remember what led up to the dopamine, right? So if you saw a blueberry and it was tasty, boom, your brain says, remember this next time. And your brain will associate positive emotions with that memory. The same thing, right? So make sure to do it when he does something wrong, so that his brain could come up to the conclusion and say, she pulled away because of this, right? And so he'll naturally start thinking about the mistakes that he did. And that is actually really good to pull away, because if you want a guy to start self-reflecting, putting away will make this, and ignoring the guy will cause him to self-reflect and think about the mistakes he's done, right? And it'll naturally make them reconsider the things they've done and said. It'll make them second guess themselves, and they'll begin to seek validation and chase you. Now, there's three different types of guys who will react differently to this. One, the guy who is a narcissist. Narcissistic people do not self-reflect. They do not find fault. And so what a narcissist will begin to do, he'll start attacking you. He'll get angry because anger is pretty much a lack of sense of control, right? And he'll begin to but pretty much he'll become enraged and try to get your attention, right? Especially in ways that can be toxic and abusing. Ignoring a narcissist will enrage them because of their fragile ego, right? So you'll get anger. He'll start attacking you. He'll start saying things to hurt you. The next type of guy is that guys who have high self-esteem. Guys with high self-esteem, and if they like you and they have high self-esteem, they'll chase you a little bit. They'll chase you. They might even call you a few times, but they won't go overboard. Now, a guy who likes you but has low self-esteem will keep going, will keep calling, will keep texting, and it'll get even worse and worse. And it'll get not worse in terms of toxicity, in terms of like danger, but worse in terms of desperateness. And you'll just say, pretty much you'll just kind of lose respect for those types of guys. The next type of guy is that guys who don't like you versus when they like you. When a guy doesn't like you and you ignore them, it's really difficult to tell, because those guys might end up falling in love with you for years until you pay attention to them and you validate them, and then they lose interest. And the only way for you to know with these types of guys is that you actually show interest. And what will happen after you show interest, they will either consistently chase, and they won't pull away, or they'll chase temporarily and then pull away, right? But the guy that chases temporarily, when you pull back and then stop chasing, is because he just didn't like you. But also, then you have the other guys where you ignore and they don't give a fuck. Now, the guys that don't give a fuck could potentially be the guys that don't like you, could potentially be the narcissist who has too much of a fragile ego to even chase you, or it could be the guy that has other options for the most part, high self-esteem. And that's pretty much some of the psychological aspect of ignoring a guy. It's a very strong strategy. It's a strategy that I will recommend you use if you feel like the guy that you're seeing is not putting in enough effort. And I've seen it work countless of times. And when I say it works, is that it reveals answers to you. It may not make the guy love you, but it'll tell you how he feels about you. And that's the most important part. If he likes you deep down and he still doesn't feel like he likes you, ignoring a guy could potentially accelerate the process. Now, when you ignore the guy, it's always good to have an excuse. Don't say I ignored you because you said this. No. Make an excuse and make up some bullshit excuse. Say your grandma fell down the stairs. Say your grandma choked on a fucking pork chop. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure you don't say it's because I did that because you were being this. The only time when I tell you to do it because he's doing something wrong is when it's getting to the point where if he doesn't do this, I'm leaving. Right? And so you pretty much let him figure it out himself. And if he likes you, he will. And if he's a narcissist or he doesn't like you, he's not going to figure it out. And it doesn't mean it didn't work. It just meant that he doesn't like you enough to figure it out. All right? All right, let me know. What other things about, what other topics you guys want me to talk about next? Let me know in the description, in the comments down below, and I'll make a video about it. Because if you don't let me know, I'm closing this channel. God damn it. All right, ladies. So finally, I have released my second course for women, which is natural chemistry. This course is a 5-week course. 5-week course where every week you're gonna get a new set of videos based on specific issues. This course is all about how to create and maintain the attraction in any man. This will help you create love. This will help you deepen the love with your man. This is not about manipulation. This is not about playing games. This is genuine, natural chemistry. No more short-term partners. No more being fooled. Why? Because I will reveal to you not only how to create attraction in the first week, but also how to understand male nature, how to understand their tricks, how to prevent from being too attached, signs that he's the wrong guy, signs that he's a narcissist, signs that he's a mama's boy, signs that he's an emotionally available guy, emotionally unavailable guy. We go over everything. We go over this 3rd week, setting boundaries. We go over the 3rd week, controlling your emotions, right? Setting boundaries, 4th week. 5th week, embracing your masculine and the feminine, right? And on top of that, I have over 10 different bonuses. 10 different bonuses, my Lord have mercy, right? With a money back guarantee. The bonus are 1, the natural chemistry, over 10 hours of content, right? The breakup formula, how to deal with a breakup, right? The connecting with your man, right? Establishing a life of abundance, social mastery, understanding your dark side, the goal setting seminar, which is about how to set and achieve goals, practical mastery that will teach you how to master anything. The laws of human nature. I have a book club for the laws of human nature with over 4 hours of content, right? The transformational seminar in a pocket, which is my mindfulness seminar, and the Chase audiobook. This originally is $1,800, but you get it starting at $97, ladies and gentlemen, right? $97. We have different packages, but all of this starts at $97. And you know what? You can check it out for free if you want. Yeah, for all the freeloaders, I have free videos just for you. Free videos, all right? So you could just check it out for free and then you could get out. Nothing wrong with that, all right? So, and on top of that, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. That's right. No questions asked. I don't mind. I just want you guys to check it out because I know when you take one look, you're going to want to buy it. I can promise you. Just like my other course, the psychological game of attraction, it was a hit. You're going to love this one. This one is not about manipulation. This is genuine natural chemistry. Order it now, all right? I'll see you guys inside. Peace out.